Hi guys, how's it going? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever in the world you are. My name is Regina Irubi, and today I just wanted to hop on this quick video and answer a question that I get asked very often by so many people. And that question is, what is my purpose? How do I discover my purpose? And recently, there's been a rise in the number of people who have messaged me to say, hey, I'm really stuck on this life of survival and running in cycles, but not actually knowing what I'm here for. God, I don't believe that God created us for a hustle or survival. God created us to live out our purpose and bloom where He planted us. So I'm going to share 3 tips that would help you answer the question. At least they are prompt questions that can help you soul search a bit to uncover what your purpose is. Let me caveat that I don't think any human being can tell another human being what their purpose is. So stop looking to speakers, motivational speakers, or coaches or mentors to tell you what your purpose is. The job of a mentor or a coach is to help you, is to nudge you in the right direction, is to guide you, is to prompt you to search on your inside to find your own answers. Nobody can find those answers for you, but they can help you look in the right places or ask the right questions or think in a particular direction to uncover your purpose. So having said that, let's jump straight into a few tips. Maybe I'll share 3 or 3 core tips that can help you or that can serve as prompt questions to help you uncover what really your purpose is. The first tip is retrospection. I always encourage people who are on the soul search, who are hunting, who are digging for what their purpose is. I always encourage them to retrospectively cast back on their lives and look back and, just sort of like trace your journey so far. As a child, what were the things you were passionate about? As a young adult, as a teenager, what were the things that were hanging on your heart very tightly? What are the things you've always been interested in? What are the things you've always been passionate about? What are the things you've always been excited about? What is it that people have always complimented you for? What are some gifts and abilities and talents that have been noticed and complimented by people time and time again? What are some things that have stayed with you over the years? They've been a constant part of your life. They've been a constant part of your passion. They've been something that you've always thought about. And it may not be anything big. That's the funny thing. So when we talk about purpose, somehow we're made to believe that it's usually this big thing. It may not be anything big. Quote unquote, big is relative, but in the way that people usually overflog size, it may not be that. It may just be, I've always had a passion for fashion. I've always loved combining pieces. I've always loved designing clothes. I've always loved drawing. I've always loved speaking. It could be something that's small, but take a look at your life, at least in the past decade or 2 decades, and see what has stayed with me, what has been constant with me, what has been a constant source of compliment. What is it that people have predominantly associated me with? Like when they hear the name Regina, what comes to their mind? So you want to ask yourself these questions, retrospectively looking at your life and evaluating your life. What are some of these things that have been constant and some passions that have stuck, some interests that just will not disappear? They've even gotten stronger over the years. Just some things you love to do. And like people always say, ask yourself, what is the one thing that I can do and do not mind not being paid for? That is also a big pointer to something that that your soul can find fulfillment in. The second is reflection. Very similar to retrospection, reflection has to do more with thinking about the present, at least in the context of this video, reflecting over your life, where you are at right now. What are the things that are tugging on your heart? What are the things that are breaking your heart? What are the things that you are aching for? What do you see on the internet and you wish it were you doing? What do you see on social media? What do you see people doing and you wish you could do that too? You wish you were the one who was giving life to that idea as well. What are some ideas that have been bubbling up on your heart lately? You need to be quiet and listen to your heart. You need to be quiet, listen to the deepest parts of you as you're asking this question. Remember, it's reflection. And when you're reflecting, you're quiet, there's no noise, you're distraction free, you are settled, and you are able to listen to yourself. What bubbles up on your heart in your solitude? What are the things that keep coming back to you? What are the things that are tugging at your heart right now? What are the things that when you hear, you wish you could do something about? What are some passions that are rising up in your heart? Reflect, and ask yourself those questions as well. And that should also help point you to some things that your life could possibly be about. The third is revelation. There's a place of asking your maker what he made you for. There's a place of saying, look, I'm not gonna guess my way through. I'm not gonna try to gamble it. I'm not gonna cherry pick on what I feel like I should do. I want to know exactly what my maker made me here for, because God is never caught unawares. He knew that we'll get to a point where we're aching to really, really uncover what we were made for. And so the illustration that the late Dr. Miles Monroe of blessed memory, the illustration that he always gives is see yourself as a product and God as a manufacturer. You cannot understand the usefulness or the purpose or the reason why a product was made if you don't read the manufacturer's manual or speak to the manufacturer. You can't just invent a purpose for a product, otherwise you would abuse it. Like he always says, when the purpose of a thing is not known, abuse is inevitable. So if you don't know what an iPhone was made for, you're going to use it wrongly. If you don't know what your television was created for, your microwave, there are chances that you would use it wrongly. So a foolproof way is to always ask your maker. He says in Jeremiah 29:11, before I formed you in your mother's womb, I knew you. I already ordained what you would be. In other words, I already finished with you before I started with you on this earth. So it's not a conversation to be had. We're not negotiating what you're here for. We're not guessing. We're not gainsaying. We're not gambling. So there is the place of revelation when God opens your eyes to see, when God reveals, when God shows you, when God uncovers to you what it is that he actually put you here on earth for. That is a very big guiding factor. I dare say that is the most reliable source of decoding or deciphering or uncovering your purpose. And the last, which is like a bonus point, I know I said I'll share 3, but there's one more which is like a bonus point, is the future. When I say the future, I want you to think about your future. Every time you think about your future, what do you see yourself doing? What kind of platform do you see yourself on? Where do you see yourself working? What is your highest dream for your life? When you imagine you living your very, very best life and maxing out potential, what does that picture look like? When you think about the legacy that you want to leave on earth, what does that look like? When you think about who you want to be known for, when you think about how you want to be experienced by your generation, what does that imagery look like? So project a little into your future. Pay attention to this thing called daydreaming, because sometimes they're usually the Spirit of the Lord taking our spirit on a voyage into the future to show us what it is that he has prepared for us. So when you find yourself daydreaming, your mind just wanders and you start to see all kinds of things about your life. You start to imagine all kinds of things about your life. You start to see very clear, vivid pictures about your life. Pay attention to those things. Don't just discard it and say, oh, I'm such a daydreamer, because even daydreams can be a medium through which the Spirit of the Lord points us to what he is trying to show us about our lives. So every time you daydream, every time your mind wanders, every time you think about your future, and you achieving your highest goal, what does that picture look like? Because therein could lie something that you're incredibly gifted at, and something that your soul was made for, and something that you were created for and you were born to do. Pay attention to those things. Of course, have a journal and a pen. Take note, write down all the things that you're uncovering about yourself. I'm pretty sure you would see a pattern running across as you answer or as you practice all the 4 steps I'm sharing with you. You'll usually see a thread running across. You see something constantly repeating itself in all the activities. And as you tie things together nicely, even if you're not able to have all the answers instantly, over time, things will begin to uncover themselves to you. But as you tie all the loose ends together nicely, bit by bit, the puzzle will begin to come together and make sense. I hope that this helped you. If it did, feel free to share with someone to encourage them, and have a very great day ahead. Bye-bye.